Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this very special occasion marking the centennial of the anniversary of the Colonial Group. I think I know everyone here, but if I haven't had a chance to meet you, I'm Todd Gross with the Georgia Historical Society, and it's my pleasure and honor to serve as the MC for today's event. Today we celebrate a milestone in the history of Savannah and in the history of Georgia. Exactly 100 years ago today, on July 21st, 1921, Raymond Demery purchased a 55-gallon barrel of oil and founded Savannah's first independent wholesale petroleum company. 2 years later, in 1923, Mr. Demery opened his first service station, or as I'm sure they were called back then, and when I was a boy back then in 1921, we called them filling stations back in those days. He opened that filling station near this exact spot, and we're going to walk over there in just a few minutes. From that humble beginning, what was then known as the American Oil Company, today called the Colonial Group, from that humble beginning, the Colonial Group has grown into one of America's largest privately held companies. By any measure, it is a remarkable story that demonstrates what can happen when you combine all of the right ingredients. Great products, excellent succession planning, outstanding multi-generational leadership, and entrepreneurial vision. And in a moment, you're going to get one of the copies of the case study, and you will see the pictures of the 5 CEOs that this company has had in 100 years. Now, I don't know how many of you know much about business history, but 5 CEOs in 100 years is remarkable succession planning by any measure, I can tell you that. And I want to stop for just a second before I get too far into this. And there's so many people that worked on this, so many people that need to be thanked. I cannot thank everyone, but I do want to recognize one person, Annette Yeomans, for all that she did to make this happen. Annette, Rob stole my line. He said, "You did yeoman work on this," and that is exactly right. So thank you for what you did. We needed somebody to kind of hold this together, and you did that. So it was a long journey to get here, but thank you for everything that you did to make this day possible. Well, today the Georgia Historical Society publicly recognizes the Colonial Group as a distinguished honoree of our Business History Initiative. The Georgia Historical Society is the independent, statewide educational and research institution that is responsible for collecting and teaching Georgia and American history. Since 1839, the Georgia Historical Society has used history and the study of the past to help Georgians to make sense of the present, to understand how we got to this point so that we can plan for a better future. I want to thank the members of our board of curators, both past and present, that have joined us today, especially our past chairman and chairman emeritus, Bob Jepson, who is with us in the audience today. Thank you all for being with us today. Over the past decade, one of the most important ways that the Georgia Historical Society has accomplished its educational mission is through the Georgia Business History Initiative. Each year, the Georgia Historical Society selects an exclusive number of iconic Georgia companies to honor through the Business History Initiative, helping Georgia students, our residents, and visitors alike to better understand the pivotal role that Georgia businesses and these companies that we honor have played in the economic, social, and political life of our state and indeed of the world. Among the companies that have been honored, and you're going to recognize a lot of these iconic Georgia companies: Delta, Coca-Cola, Georgia Power, Chick-fil-A, CNN, and right here in Savannah, we've honored the Georgia Ports and Gulfstream. Honorees receive a historical marker relating the company's history and a case study, and we have copies of that. Here it is right here. A case study that is prepared by our education team and our historians working with the companies, that is aligned to the Georgia standards and is designed to be used by 8th grade economics and history teachers across the state. So this is a case study. There are some in the back. We hope that you will pick these up before you leave. I will say that we've done a number of these. I think this is the best one that we have done yet, and I'm really proud of the way that this turned out. And when you think about a company that's as extraordinary as Colonial, one of the things, or among the many things that you can teach, is not only the history of that company, but you can also teach entrepreneurialism, you can teach leadership, you can teach ethics, and you can teach philanthropy, which, of course, Colonial is legendary for in the city of Savannah. So congratulations to the Colonial Group. Congratulations to the Demery family on 100 years of service to this community, and congratulations on being honored as a member of the Georgia Business History Initiative. You are truly an iconic Georgia company, an amazing success story, a model for others, and an inspiration for budding entrepreneurs. And today I want everyone to remember that an anniversary is not an ending point. It is a point where we stop to celebrate what has been accomplished, to take measure of how far that we have come, so that we can see more clearly where we can still go if we only allow ourselves to dream. Colonial Group's story is still being written, and I can assure you that the people of Savannah and history itself look forward with great anticipation to what you will accomplish over the next 100 years. And now it is my honor to introduce the man, the leader, who will write the next chapter in the history of the Colonial Group, the president and CEO of the company, Mr. Christian Demery.
Well, no pressure, I guess. Last few sentences really sunk in. I want to thank everyone for coming today. It really is a special day, special celebration. As you might imagine, a lot of research has been conducted over the last year, mostly by Annette, to celebrate this 100th anniversary, and it really sunk in just how incredible the evolution of Colonial has been when you kind of start to see these stories come out, old letters written. It really is a remarkable story, and I've been asked a few times now, how's Colonial done it? How's Colonial not only endured but flourished over the last 100 years? And I think the answer is rather simple. It's really been our people. I think a lot of change has occurred not only at the company but the world around us. But the one constant that I think has been there through it all is the culture at Colonial. We've really got a group of people that care deeply about the company. They care deeply about the community, and they care deeply about each other. And when you can maintain that kind of culture, you can really persevere through a lot. And quite frankly, it gives me a lot of passion to come in each day and want to keep carrying the torch forward. And honestly, it's even a little more than just the company. I was had the pleasure of listening to the mayor here give a speech a couple days ago, and he was talking about what really makes Savannah special. And he says it's not the historic district, not the trees, not the ports. He says it's the heart of the people of Savannah, and that's really I think the kind of culture we've tried to embrace at Colonial, because at the end of the day, we're only as good as the community that we live and operate in. So very appreciative to be a part of it. I know Houston and I both are humbled to carry the torch forward and be a small part of it in any way we can, and definitely look forward to the next 100 years. So with that, I want to pass it along to Georgia State Senator Ben Watson.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Todd. We really appreciate this. The Georgia State Senate, we did do a resolution that Ms. Yeomans and Ms. Kennedy, my administrative assistant in Atlanta, did most of the work on that, and much appreciated. But the resolution, I won't read you all the whereases and therefores relating to that, but I want to tell just a little quick story relating to Colonial. As Todd said earlier, it is legendary, and it is talking about community, and it is talking about business when we come to and we think of Colonial Oil. But Rob, along with other members of the community, but he and Tommy Hester, the late Tommy Hester, brought junior achievement to Savannah, Georgia. And that sits just with the ideals that Colonial Group has been espousing. Because when they do immerse those middle school students into a junior achievement. They not only teach them about finances and the soft skills and taxes and things like that go along with that, but they encourage them along the way relating to business. And that's what, with the Colonial Group and Rob bringing that, and now along with Georgia Southern University and Armstrong, they are forming a great foundation for our community and have been doing that now for decades. So I just wanted to congratulate Colonial Group for doing that and congratulate you on the 100 years, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much for your service to our state and our city, too. Well, we are very honored to have His Honor with us today, and it's a pleasure now for me to introduce and invite to the podium the Mayor of the City of Savannah, the Honorable Van Johnson.
Thank you and good morning, Dr. Gross, Mr. Demery, Senator Watson, to all of you on another beautiful day in Savannah. Even when it's cloudy, it's just a beautiful day in Savannah. Today has been proclaimed as being Colonial All Day in Savannah, and that's where we clap. And as the senator says, there are a lot of whereases and therefores, and so therefore you could read that at your leisure. But the thought that came to mind today is there's a tree that's behind me, a beautiful oak tree, big oak tree. And the interesting thing about the oak tree is what makes Savannah great also. That this tree has staying power and it has growing power. Staying power and growing power. And when you look at Savannah, staying power and growing power. Staying power in that you're able to outlive the people that planted you. Think about that. 100 years ago, Colonial Oil was founded, and we were not even on the scene. We were not even thought of. But yet 100 years later, we're now on the scene, and Colonial Oil is still here. And then the second significant thing is growing power, the opportunity to have things. If you look at this tree, there's stuff growing from the tree. And yet you look at how Colonial Oil has branched out and grown, and you hear these brands, Colonial Oil, Colonial Terminals, Colonial Fuel and Lubricant, in market, which now proudly is the name sponsor for our brand new arena, and we're going to clap right there for that. Colonial Compliance, and so it grows. And may we all be so fortunate that here in 2021 that we create things that grow and we create things that stay. And so our congratulations to Colonial Oil for all that you've done. And it is people. It is a set of values that transcend generations. And so it's now our time on the court, so to speak. And so we're hoping that we'll set a marker that will say that Colonial Hall was here in Savannah, a city already known for history for 100 years. And then from 100 years from now, somebody will come and say, wow, what were they thinking about 100 years ago? And maybe on spaceships or something like that. Well, if I drop somebody's...
That's all right, I'll get it, go ahead.
But that is what makes Colonial Oil one of our most revered companies. That's what makes Savannah great. And your best days are still yet to come. God bless you. Congratulations.
Our mayor is so good. I love the analogy of the tree. That's absolutely fabulous. And I don't believe you just came up with that on your own. I mean, just immediately sitting here just looking at the tree. That's good. I like it. Very, very, very good. And while everyone is thanking the Demerys and praising the Demerys, let me also add my thanks. You've been a big supporter of history education, Georgia Historical Society. Thank you. Rob, Christian, Houston, thank you very much for all that you've done to support our institution as well. We really genuinely do appreciate that as well. Okay, now for the big moment everybody's been waiting for. The speechifying is pretty much at an end. So here's what we're going to do. If you can keep up with this. I had a hard time myself understanding what was going on. Okay, so we're going to walk from here. How many of you thought the Mary Musgrove marker was the marker for Colonial? The marker for Colonial Group is around the corner, so we're going to walk. The street's closed, I understand, so we're okay. We're going to walk down there for the reading of the marker, which will be done by Bryn Grant. Once the marker is red, we're going to snap a few photographs, and then we're going to invite you to come back over here. So please come back over here and get a copy of the case study and some water. So, okay, so we're going to leave from here, and we're going to read the marker, unveil the marker, read it, and then we're going to come back over here, okay? So I'd invite you now to follow us over there. Thank you. You going to read it?
I get to read it.
All right.
I know.
Okay. Is everybody ready?
Are you ready?
I'm ready, man. All right, here we go.
Brent gets the honors.
Colonial Group Inc., originally American Oil Company. Raymond McAllister Demery founded the American Oil Company on July 21st, 1921, as Savannah's first independent wholesale petroleum company, and he opened his first station at this site in 1923. Renamed Colonial Oil in 1933, the company is now known as Colonial Group Inc. In 1934, the company built its first independent ocean terminal on the Savannah River, contributing to the growth and diversification of the Port of Savannah. In 1964, Colonial launched interstate stations, now in-market, for the operation of convenience stores in the Southeast. At its 100th anniversary in 2021, the fourth-generation, family-owned company remained headquartered in Savannah and was one of the area's largest employers, having expanded with multiple diverse subsidiaries to become one of the largest privately held corporations in the United States. Erected by the Georgia Historical Society and Colonial Group Inc.
Fran, well done. Thank you. You did a great job, and we very much appreciate it. Well, we've saved the best for last. You thought it was just the marker. That's anticlimactic. I mean, the best is now at the very end here. It's a real pleasure and an honor for me to introduce a friend and the man who has led Colonial up to this point, Rob Demery.
Thank you. I didn't know I was on the program until just a few days ago, so there you go. But anyway, first, Brent, I don't know how you did that. I can't see it 3 feet away, and you read it for five feet away. Yes. Young eyes. Brent represents United Way, which I don't know if y'all know, that is a very dear organization to me. I think it's one of the finest United Ways in the country, and it does a great job for our community around here. So thank you very much for what you do. Also want to thank these 3 gentlemen over here you've just heard. They've been very instrumental in making all this happen, and I thank you all very much. And Mayor, we had a hard time getting all this in, so I want to thank you particularly.
Sure.
And just to think, right behind us, that's if you see that photograph over there, that's where the station was, right there. So it's we're very fortunate to be able to put this up at this particular site. So I want to thank that. And while I'm thanking, I've got to thank Annette Yeomans. She's been thanked several times, but she is my executive assistant. And, it was well over a year ago, I don't know exactly how long ago, she got the task of our 100th anniversary celebration and making it all come together. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think it was that big a deal. And then as she started working on it and all these things she had to do, digging up the history and doing all, I mean, it's just unbelievable the work she has done. And to steal my line back, she's done a yeoman's job. But it's really, she has really worked hard. I mean, she's been so dedicated to getting this where we are today. And she's not through yet. We still got a big company party coming up for all of our employees. I think this fall, hopefully, the COVID doesn't shut us down, and we'll see what happens. We have a company party every year. This is going to be a special one this year. And we didn't have it last year because of COVID. So, Mayor, we got to have it this year. Oh, I can't go 2 years, but anyhow. No, this is a very special day, I think, for me and all of us. But what is really special for me is that you work hard at a company, and you have successes and failures. Which I'm a big believer you learn from your failures more than you learn from your success. But what gives me the greatest, I guess, honor and deep feelings is able to pass this torch to the next generation. Money doesn't mean much. It's the ability to pass along. These people, and not the only thing against them, but a lot of people sell their companies out at some point in time and enjoy the fruits of their labor, I guess. But it's so much nicer to be able to pass it along. I just can't express how warm I feel inside that I was able to accomplish that. And I really hope that the future generations will carry on as well, and keep Colonial growing and moving forward. And more importantly than all that is taking care of the community. We try very hard to be community oriented, particularly in Savannah since this is headquarters, but we try to do as much as we can outside of Savannah and places that we do business as well. So I really want to thank all of y'all for being here. And it's more than water next door under the tent. In-Market has gotten some of their goodies off of their shelf, and I think Annette, y'all got little baggies with all the goodies in it, and it's got some blueberry muffins and stuff like that. I've never seen such big ones. So be sure to go over there and have a few snacks and have some water and socialize, and I look forward to seeing you all under the tent. That's all I have, sir.
All right, got ammo on that one. Yeah.